So people who lie, manipulate, and play games, first of all, nobody wants to start from there, right? Nobody wants to be in a position where they will be facing a life in which manipulation and game playing would be required because it's pretty stressful, isn't it? It's a tough way to live your life. It's not something somebody's first choice, it would not be. But sometimes people's personal trauma, their past trauma, maybe the childhood, maybe they grew up in a place where they felt unworthy, maybe they did not have a lot, or maybe their parents made them believe that they do not deserve a lot. So, all these circumstances, all these positions, all these places, all these words and emotions and feelings, all of that combined let them believe that maybe their being does not have value, and maybe their presence does not have value, maybe their identity is of a small person, and whoever will see them clearly will think that, oh, this person does not deserve much. So now what do they do, right? Because they still have to exist on the planet, they still have to exist in the 3D. They still have to make a living, they still have to continue. So what do? They start to assume a different personality. They start to look like and behave like and talk like somebody else, somebody they have seen holding more power and more presence. And these people's words become repetitive. They become a version of somebody else. They start to talk like somebody else. In fact, if you sit with them for a long time, you'll realize that none of their thoughts are original. And that is because somebody at a very young age ingrained in them that their words and their presence and their existence does not have much value unless and until they are performing. And this performance and this escaping who they are to become somebody that is worthy of love, worthy of wealth, worthy of money, worthy of relationships or friendships. And everybody wants those things, right? So these people adopt these ways in which they start to lie, and they don't even realize when the lie stops and it becomes their own identity. And they don't realize that now the lie becomes the truth for them. They start to exist in a world where their own lies, because they have been repeated so many times, becomes their truth. And they start to live in a very jaded, disconnected way. And yes, okay, now we understand, right? Why people lie. People lie because they are suffering from their old trauma. Because no healed person lies. They don't need to lie. Their self worth is full, their existence is full. They don't need validation from somebody else. But a broken person, unhealed person, would want that validation from everybody. So they start to adopt a personality which is not them. And then it takes a higher and higher version of lying to exist in the same world. But at the same time, just because we do understand why people lie, why people play games, does not mean that now we need to become their accomplice. It does not mean that now we need to sit with them and understand them and become a part of their life, their own working, or whatever way that these people exist. It does not become our responsibility just because we understand it. Okay? We still have to exit manipulation, we still have to exit games, we still have to disconnect from places which make us feel small. And it's their own job to treat themselves, to heal themselves, to sit with their trauma, and to finally understand, why do I do these things? Okay. And if they never reach there, it's okay. It's up to them, their own life, their own choices. But it's not our job to take over somebody's burdens in such a way that it becomes our problem, because there are a lot of people in this world who can see people clearly, who can see the trauma that they are dealing with, the issues that they have, or if not issues, maybe the areas of where they feel they lack, or where they feel that they do not have enough value. Just because you see it does not mean now that it belongs to you, or that you need to heal it, or you need to fix it. It's their own job to do it, and you can stand with them, but you don't need to take over. Okay? It's not your job to take over other people's healing, other people's purpose, other people's issues, and make them your own, because a day might come, because these people, I'm giving you a different scenario, they might come where They twist and turn their lives, and you start to become the problem. You become the trigger, you become the issue because they cannot deal with themselves, they cannot deal with their own truth. So, what do? They start to place blame on you. They start to make you believe that you are causing problems, you are causing trouble. It's because of you they are not able to heal, they're not able to feel better about themselves. So, no matter how much you understand somebody, no matter how much you feel for somebody, no matter how much pain you see somebody in, it's not your job to take over their own growth. It's not your job to take over their own lessons, their own life plan. It's something that they have chosen in this life to carry and fix, okay, to heal from. And self worth is an issue which a lot of us, right, need to grow from. In fact, it's one of the most basic reasons why we don't end up, or why we sometimes slow down the life that we deserve. Like it, when it comes to us, it comes to us slowly. Why? Because these lessons in self worth are so deeply ingrained. Like lack of self worth is so deeply ingrained in us that maybe from the way that we were raised, where they say there are a lot of studies that say that children hear no a lot more than they hear yes, and they listen to words like don't do this and don't do that and don't sit there and don't stand there much more often than they hear that you did a good job. Most children from let's say 20, 30 years ago were not even hugged, not even held. So self-worth tends to become an issue, but we can only do so much and we can only do it for ourselves. We don't need to take over somebody else's burden. Understanding why somebody does something is good. Why? Because it gives you mental peace. Okay. But it's not for the other person. Why people do things is something you also do not need to delve so deep in that it starts to traumatize you. But yeah, you need to have some kind of surface level understanding so that you think, okay, fine, this person is not doing well. Because think about it, like healthy people do not do that. Healthy people don't need to play games. Healthy people don't put down people. Healthy people don't need to manipulate people. Healthy people get things easily. And by healthy, I mean mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, physically healthy, healthy body, healthy mind, right? Healthy spirituality, healthy soul. So you have to understand that your life is your life. We have to be very capitalistic in a way that we exist. And we have to understand that our own self is something that we are responsible for. We can be a shoulder for somebody else, but we cannot carry their weight for them because we take away from their journey as well.